Hi everyone, welcome to today's One Card Wonder Wednesday. I hope you are having some fun today and maybe hopefully doing some crafting things. I have been working on trying to figure out what to do for my One Card Wonder Wednesday today. Had a little bit of grocery shopping that I needed to do. Not much, just needed some fresh fruits. Because that's the thing we run out of the quickest. Of course, everything else we've already got. We don't need to worry about any of that. I'm gonna move my camera. I just realized it's not a good view here. You're not seeing my workspace. There we go. Sorry, much better. All right, I had it pulled a little too far forward. All right, so today I'm going to be using part of the Ornate Garden Suite. And this is available today. So I'm just gonna quickly, I know I've gone through this a million times, but we are going to use some of the Ornate Garden Specialty Designer Series paper. We are going to be using the Ornate border dies and the fantastic new Ornate layer dies. And maybe some of the gilded gems. We might throw some of those in there too, but I combined it today with the Bloom and Grow stamp set because I love the sentiments in this stamp set. And I haven't used it in a while. And I'm trying to incorporate some of the annual catalog, this year's annual catalog items in with the Ornate Garden Suite, which is a pretty early release from our new annual catalog that will be coming up soon in the next couple of months. So I figured you can see how you can incorporate different stamp sets into it. All right, so the first thing I have to start with, I have lots of pieces here, but we're gonna just start with some crumb cake cardstock, and I've already folded it in half because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to layer things. Now, I don't know if we're gonna use all of these pieces, but I have this initial layer that I ran through the, let me see what the name of the 3D emboss, the Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder, which I know I've shown you that before, but it has such a fantastic texture and it makes that super thick 3D embossing on here. And then I cut out with some of the dies, some champagne foil because I thought I wanted to play with these little flowers in the champagne foil. I did this little lacy border. And then of course I have a bunch more flowers here. And when you die cut this one here, you end up with all these little fantastic stems. So I have a couple left over that are in Old Olive as well from the other day when I did some die cutting. So I thought we would play around with these pieces and come up with something cute for this card. So let's start. Now this is part of the Ornate Garden Specialty Designer Series paper, and the reason it is specialty is some of them have like a foil, I believe it's gold foil. I think they have gold foil on them on the opposite sides, but this one doesn't. So I've been playing with this and I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to layer it, and I really love this floral pattern and I love this embossing, but I don't know if I want, a full sheet of each. I actually cut this one a little bit shorter because I was thinking about layering this on the end just to give a little bit of bling at the end here. And then obviously we'd have to cut it off. It wouldn't be that long. It wouldn't be sticking out that far, but I thought that would be really cute. So I think I'm gonna start with that. And so all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run a strip of snail down this side. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to hold this on there. When you join, make sure I know you're here, say hi. I appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping in to watch. And then I'm just gonna trim the little ends off. Because we don't need those pieces sticking out anyway. Just wanna make sure I don't cut any of my cardstock. I just want to get that champagne foil sheet there. Look how pretty. I think that's pretty already. Just like that. We could just leave our card just like that and it would be everything. Now I did cut out a vellum Ornate frame because I just love, you know, I love vellum, but I think it looks really pretty over top of this paper. Look how pretty that is when it's right on top of that paper. And I want to try something that I know other people have done and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to get a clean sponge out and we're going to try something new in a minute. Just a small little wedge from one of the Stampin' sponges. But before we do that, I want to emboss on this. And I want to use white embossing powder. And I want to use the Let's Celebrate You from the Bloom and Grow stamp set. So I'm just going to take our piece of vellum and I'm just going to go over it with the embossing buddy because we don't want any of that embossing powder sticking where we don't, obviously where we don't want it. I'm just gonna ink this up with Versamark. We got too many V's today. Valerie, vellum, and Versamark. Stamp it on there and then we'll sprinkle it with the white Stampin' Emboss powder. Try to get most of it back into the little jar. And right at the top, there's some stick in there. So I'm just going to take a paintbrush and just get that off from there. That is the easiest way to do it, is with a paintbrush. Sometimes if you see a big spot that's really close to where you've stamped, this wasn't too close, you can use a finer paintbrush than this, obviously. And now I played around with the vellum earlier and was embossing on it with the white. And it just turns out really pretty. I did have a few little speckles that stayed on the vellum and I think I just didn't rub it well enough with the embossing buddy, but let's see, maybe I did better this time. Make sure I don't have any pieces stuck to the bottom of this like I did the other day because I ran away with some of my card parts the other day. All right, so we'll just get the heat tool. We'll hold it down, we'll turn it on. We'll hold this down with, this is the old paper piercing tool. Now that it's heated up, I'm just gonna hold it from this side and use my right hand if I can get the cord to come over. And just heat it up and melt that embossing powder. If you've never heat embossed, this is like one of the more fun things to do. It is so satisfying, and I know that sounds silly, but just to watch that embossing powder melt and go from that powder to that fantastic embossed look. I just think that's so pretty. All right, we'll just set that aside, and I want to actually just adhere this down and get this onto the paper before we do the next step. Now this next step I have never tried, and so this is something new. This is a new technique, although I've heard, you know, other people have done it and they've said it works well. So I figured, why not? Let's give it a shot. The worst that can happen is our card just doesn't turn out as pretty as we planned to begin with. And sometimes that's okay. So what they do to adhere that vellum down, and I've done it before, just a tiny little dot on the corners to hold it down and it works, but I kind of want this to lay flat. I do like how after I ran it through, it has these curled up edges. I want the curled up edges to stay, but I want glue on this entire part. And the best way to do it, according to all the forums and different things that have to do with Stampin' Up, is to use a sponge and get it on there, and then it gets a really nice thin layer so you can't really tell what is adhering it down. So let's give it a shot, because I kind of wanted this paper to show through that vellum, and right at this moment I'm just going to tell you it works. That looks great. Sponging the Tombow multi-purpose glue on the back of vellum, you cannot see that there is adhesive on the back of that. Like if I were to put a glue dot on there, you would see where that glue dot was. But I'm going to pull it closer to the camera just so you can see it a little bit better. But you can't tell that there is glue on the back of that now. Fun! I'm so glad I tried a new technique with this and did it on camera just to see how well it would work. Love it. I love it when you can do a new technique like that. All right, so I want to use some of these flowers, but I kind of want to cut them out. I don't want them all, like I don't want this whole border that comes with this, but I kind of want these little flowers here. So I'm just going to cut them out. Just so we can add some pretty little, now this one we're gonna have to actually cut around. And I'm just gonna kind of go around where the embossing folder kind of left a little dent in it, because the foil sheets are a little bit thicker than regular cardstock. And so sometimes when you run them through, there's just a little dent around where the image is. I don't know how else to describe it. So we've got a couple of those. I did cut out some of these separately, which I thought were really cute. And then we've got our little things there. But I kind of would like, let's just cut this piece off. A couple of pieces that are already put together with some flowers and some leaves. Because we're just going to use these. We're going to use some mini dimensionals and add them onto the card. I kind of like that on the corner there. And of course they need to be raised up definitely, because our little border around this is kind of raised up anyway, just from the running it through the die cut machine. Let's see. I mean, we could probably just go with this piece on this end, kind of go around this flower, and then we're going to cut around these leaves. That's kind of pretty too. Maybe I'll put this on this side and this one on this side, just because they will fit better around the words. So we'll get a couple, I'm probably just going to use mini dimensionals. I think those would work best with this, because we don't want too many, we don't want any of the dimensional to show through. And some of these are kind of thin. So let's see what's going to be. This side is going to be definitely attached, and probably this top leaf. My video is, well, I can't see anyone's comments right now for some reason. So if you are commenting, I promise I will get back to you. I apologize. I'm not sure why I'm having such an issue with my iPad lately. Just connecting with Facebook, and algorithms are always changing, so I just never know what the reasons are for things not quite working right. I think I'm only going to need those two little pieces on here. And I think that's going to hold that really nice. Actually, I might bring it in just a little bit further, so maybe I'll put one on this leaf. Maybe I'll bring it a little bit closer to the words. There we go, perfect. I really love how this has turned out with that. Being able to glue that down like that. Right. I don't even know if I need to use these two little flowers for anything, or even these little tiny ones. Oh, look, Christine, I saw your thing. Probably not Facebook, not my iPad. Okay, you can't see them either. Okay, that might be it. Very well could be. Do we need to add any more flowers? What do we think? I think it looks kind of cute just like that. I don't know if I want to add too many. I kind of like the simplicity of that. But I do like these little stems, and I might add, I don't know. Let's see if we have them coming out from underneath and maybe one at the top, going across the top. That's kind of pretty. Actually kind of like that. So maybe I'll do that. I'll just put a little dot of glue on the bottom of, or on the actual, just the little stem part of this leaf, because that's really all that is going to need to hold it down. Maybe on the, if I can get the glue to come out. Come on now. I think I squirted too much out when I did the other, when I did the sponging. It's very possible. Very possible. All right, and I'm not going to do the one on the end because I'm going to use that one to hold on to when I stick it in here to glue it down. There we go. And I'll do the same with this one. This one's a little longer because this was a longer piece, but that's okay. I kind of like when it's not actually always symmetrical. I like a little bit of asymmetry in there. All right, I got a little bit too much glue on this, so I'm just gonna lay it on a piece of cardstock over here and dot some of it off because I don't want it gooing out all over the place. Super cute. I love that. All right, and I don't think we need any more of these little embellishments because I don't think I want to put any more on there. I will save those for another project. Now we do have some gilded gems here somewhere, but I don't think I want any of those on there because I want to stick with that champagne color. I don't want to put any gold, and that's really, it's a gorgeous gold, but it just might be a little bit too much. So let's get a piece of Whisper White cardstock to put in the center of the card on the inside. And then you can always stamp something on the inside if you want to. And let me see what's in the Bloom and Grow stamp set. There might be something small in there that will work perfect with this. Whoops. Don't want to stick it yet. I'm a little off center. All right, there we go. Let's see what's in the Bloom and Grow. Oh, there's all cute little stems in there. I actually kind of like this one because it reminds me of these little stems that we just put on there. So we will get a block for those. And let's choose a color. Maybe, I kind of like the terracotta tile. So let's do terracotta tile on the inside. That'll look pretty, I think. Got stuff sticking to my fingers because I did do the sponging. I still have a little bit of glue on my fingers. I have paper stuck to it now too. All right, and I'm just gonna put one on that lower left corner. And then I think it's cute because I feel like it kind of matches the front a little bit with these stems. There we go, perfect. I love it. Do you like it? I think it's adorable. I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. I hope you are getting lots of crafting time in because I think we all need this right now. This is, for me, this is very soothing and relaxing to craft. I hope you feel the same way. I hope you are able to get in some crafting time. I hope you can head over to my store at valeriesmith.stampinup.net and see everything that we have to offer from Stampin' Up. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I will post all of the measurements and written instructions on my blog, and I will make sure the link to that is on my page here. So thank you for joining me. Have a great evening. I live and love to inspire you. Bye.